Hello and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about how Sangal beat FaZe 13-2 on their map pick of Anubis. Primarily out of the perspectives that we talked about in one of our recent videos, where we have been talking about the key notes of how to approach matches as an underdog from the perspective of preparation, individual performance, and avoiding to overthink in these scenarios when you're playing against a better team. Sangal started on the CT side of Anubis, a map that is traditionally quite T-sided, but they still managed to get away with a 10-2 half. One key aspect of having that good of a half on the CT side of a map like Anubis relies in the fact that they managed to win the pistol round here and also convert the second round when they're playing against full ecos. Doing it quite cleanly here, as we can see, where they didn't lose any money and their economy is starting to build up already after the first 2 rounds of the game. Something that we can see already on the first buy round is that Sangal go into this game quite prepared, having an idea of how they want to start off this game. On this first buy round, they're doing quite a heavy A lean, where they're doing this aggro play towards A main, with an early A main smoke from Sami, followed up by, right before the smoke fade, breaking it from Exploit and mollying close and pushing out 2 guys. I would assume that this is something based on prep of a tendency the FaZe use, because as we say, one of the key notes to winning as an underdog is actually approaching the match with a good plan of how you want to play, preferably having some form of anti-strat of how FaZe clan, in this case, would like to start off the match. In this case, though, they lose the round on B because FaZe do an early B split. And we can see here from the 2-1 standpoint that the fact that Sangal managed to get this half to 10-2 relies heavily on this round. Because regardless of how good of a plan that Sangal have in this case, if they lose this round, their economy is going to be so hard that it will be difficult for them to get anywhere near 10 rounds. If they lose this round, they're going to be forced to eco, probably have quite a poor buy after that, and then we will already be looking at best, maybe an 8-4 half, a 7-5 half. But instead, Sangal managed to convert this round, which leads to them having a 10-2 half. We can also see already in the second buy round that Sangal appears to want to start off this game with quite a clear plan of starting the rounds quite aggressively. In this second buy round, we see already that they're setting up for an early B aggression here, but they're just searching out. Again, this is hard to know if it's based on preparation of how FaZe clan like to play, or if this is purely from the Sangal perspective of starting this match in a way where they force FaZe clan to be aware of these things. A good A hold here from Sami and Exploit, where they managed to go 3 for 1, 3 for 2 in the end, sorry. Setting the team up for quite a good scenario here to retake, where they managed to, well, not even retake, they managed to kill them before they even get the bomb down, right? But they managed to convert that round despite having not the full utility and such, based on quite a good individual performance from the A players in this case, managing to get 3 kills on the A split. Again, we see the third buy round, we see another early aggression play with his early stair smoke and a fast double push from out water here. Again, it's hard to know which of these things is based on preparation. Well, everything is based on preparation, but what is based on preparation of how FaZe clan like to play. Because Youngster in this case gets into very, very, very strong positions such early in the rounds with a very high risk play. But it's also the fact is when you're playing against a better team like FaZe clan here, which Sangal knows. Sangal has a very strong Anubis, but FaZe are still clearly the overdogs here. We're playing on LAN. A lot of the Sangal players have not played big LANs before. So it's quite important that they start this game off showing that they want to win and not playing to not lose. They're actually daring to take risks, they're actually daring to make plays and starting this game off with quite a strong foot. As we can see again though, they ended up losing that round due to some very good kills from the FaZe players and FaZe managing to play the mid round quite well, avoiding the stack. But again, third buy round here, what are we seeing? We're seeing another early aggro round from Sangal here. They're doing this 3 guys starting B, Exploit blocking A. And again here, Sangal have done an early aggression. Unfortunately, once again, towards the wrong side of the map. When they did the A aggression, FaZe did an early B round. When they did the B aggression, FaZe did an early A split. And here again, when they're doing this early 3-man B start where they're aggroing, FaZe clan aren't there, they're not getting met. However, what they're doing based on this info, in the past 2 scenarios, the Ts have already done the execute on the other side fast enough that they haven't had time to really rotate or react on it. But in this case, since FaZe clan are not aware of this B push, they do an early lean here based on the info that, well, no T is showing towards the B area, as well as the fact that Sangal will not win this round if they play it out slowly. They have no util left at 1 minute, and they're very underarmed. They have worse weapons. They have full AKs on the T side compared to UMPs and Deagles here. I would assume that we're going to be seeing quite an important individual performance here as Exploit manages to get 2 kills on the A push. And with this A stack that they can do based on the info from B, They're once again, though, in this case, ending up in the right position, and combine that with the individual performance from the players. In this case, Exploit getting a multi-kill, and Jota being in the right position to clean up the other two. They set themselves up for yet another one of these wins for the second time now in the first 3 buy rounds, where they haven't had the full weapons, they haven't had all the utility, they have been underarmed in these rounds, but they've still managed to convert them. We can see in this round as well, a good preparation, also just being aware of the map and not getting lost in the thought of playing a better team. They understand that FaZe Clan do not have the proper utility and weapons to also play this round out fully, right? So instead of Exploit overcommitting towards A, being isolated in a position like Fountain, where the rotation is not very instant, so if there's an early era, she's quite isolated still. He's deciding to play quite opting for a passive start here, where he's also able to help the mid players here, as FaZe Clan do a fast take. So they're basically able to be 3 guys here blocking. If LNC doesn't get a multi-kill here, Exploit and Sammy will clean up for sure. And again, we're talking individual performance is an instrumental part to pulling up an upset victory. So what's LNC getting the multi-kill on mid here is also a very important step of this round. Had he gotten 1 kill and died, they would have probably cleaned up, but had he died cleanly, 0 for 1, the round could have been a bit more scary than it is. Despite the FaZe Clan being out A, it's not really a big threat to Sangal. They have such a man advantage here that they're just able to take duels together and they just win the round. Anubis is a map where it's quite difficult. If you're playing a very passive CT playstyle, the Ts will eventually be able to overcome you. When you allow the Ts to force you off mid, force you off A main, force you off connector, you kind of have to do something at some stage of the round on Anubis, doing mid-round aggression at some place. But another solution that Sangal have done so far is that they've just started these rounds doing an aggro play. So instead of allowing the Ts to be proactive and getting into positions where the CTs are forced to react and re-aggress, they are taking the initiative. They're starting this game off, showing that they want to win, showing that they're doing things, showing that they're not scared of FaZe Clan. They're daring to take these duels B main. They're daring to take these duels out A main. They're daring to block mid and fight for this. Once again, in this buy round, we can see that Sangal have a plan of how they want to start these rounds, being quite proactive, getting into nice positions and not allowing Ts to push them back as they start this double A setup with an early molly for the close corner here. This aggro position, despite only yielding 1 kill, even if they would have not seen anything, this allows them to be in a position where they're actually able to have information. Maybe instead of aggressing, which they could do, they could also just leave Sammy here with the AWP, allowing a rotation, so they are 3B, 1 mid as well. This gives them quite a few opportunities instead of just playing fully passive, which isn't necessarily wrong, and what I assume is that we'll see Sangal play less aggressive as this half progresses, as they force FaZe to respect their early aggressions and early plays. So if we think out of the perspective of what I talked about in one of my past videos that you might have seen on this channel, where we talk about the keys to pulling off an upset victory, which is preparation, individual performance, and avoiding doubt, we can see that Sangal have successfully in these first few buy rounds done all of these things. They're also having a lot of individuals showing up in the key moments in this game. We've seen a lot of multi-kills from Exploit on A. Jota has also pulled off several multi-kills, LNZ as well. It's been a team effort here of getting these rounds so far. We can see that some of these rounds Sangal should not have won necessarily. They had the worst weapons, they were in bad positions, but they still managed to convert and win the round. We might be looking at a situation here where instead of it being 8-2 for Sangal at this point, we might have been looking at a 4-4 half, because the economy is a big part of the CT side as well. They have been in positions where they have had a break round, where if they lose that round, they won't be able to buy, they have to eco or force buy, and it's going to be a spiral where FaZe will guarantee several rounds. But Sangal have managed to convert all of these crucial rounds, which allows them to be in such a big lead at this point. And as I said earlier, with the early aggressions that Sangal have done, they opt to play in the later stages of these half, which is already 8-2, but we have not seen all too many buy rounds because Sangal has successfully converted rounds that have forced FaZe Clan to force buy or eco, which spirals into this being such a head half, despite the first few rounds being quite even, right? And we can see that in the later stage of this half, Sangal opt to play a more passive style, where they know that FaZe Clan now have to respect this early aggression and are forced to use more utility early, forced to play a bit slower. So they counter this by just playing this early 3B start with the AWP here, and 2 rifles focusing on con, where they're playing more reactive, instead of playing the game like they started out with, being very proactive, taking decisions, taking fights, doing aggro things. they opt to play more reactive towards the later stages of this half here, where they're letting go of the con control, they're letting go of the mid control. LNC is playing a pixel angle here, you know. X-Floyd is not playing hard for A main anymore. The way you play your rounds in the beginning of a game, in the beginning of a half, and the way that the Ts interpret the way you played, it will change also the mentality of how the other team is forced to feel. If you win these rounds in the beginning by doing full send aggressions, they are forced to respect the fact that you're doing this play style. And they're forced to play a more defensive style, but they're maybe holding your early aggression. And if you're aware and notice these tendencies, or just think about how your decisions will affect the enemy team's thinking process, you'll be able to also, just like Sangal do here, play this round out where they're actually ahead of the curve. They understand that FaZe Clan are going to play a slower game right now. So instead of continuing to do these aggressions later on in the half, they start to play more passive. They're the step ahead, understanding that FaZe Clan are forced to play a slower style of CS. And when they do that, Sangal are able to punish it by holding utility and buying a secondary op where they're able to post on angles more effectively to clear out the Ts that will later on dry search you because they're forced to use util early. Playing this more reactive style, which they're doing in this later stages of this half, you can see in this last buy round, where instead of X-Floyd like he did in the first few rounds, hardcore fighting for this aiming control, maybe having a second guy or even a third guy here, he's opting to play a more defensive style in this final round of the half, where instead of being the aggressors, they're allowing the Ts to use utility to attempt to clear out A main here with a smoke molly like Rops does early, and just doing a retake in the middle of the round with two guys using this very nice nade set that we can see from X-Floyd here, using a smoke for A main, followed up by a bounce Molotov to get the close angle. So this forces the Ts out of this control or playing in front of this smoke, but with two rifles clearing this out, they're going to almost guarantee that they're going to get at least a 1-for-1 trade and still being able to hold on to this map control. Despite what people may assume when they see the Sangal beat FaZe Clan in this convincing of a fashion, some people would assume it's due to one player having an extremely good individual performance. And while it's true that there are a lot of important rounds from players in Sangal in this game, so far there has not been any specific individual that have completely blown up and take over the server. We can see Sammy having a very good start at this, a very good first half here, but other than that we can see quite an even spread on the kills from the CT side. Nobody has had an insane performance where someone's dropping 22 kills in the half, right? Just completely destroying FaZe Clan. And in this round, on the B execution in the late round, Yotta gets a very important 3k to cleanly shut down this site hold. But other than this round, there have been very few multi-kills that are more than just getting 2 kills, right? And even the double kills are, while they are very important, rarely ensure a round win completely, like a site hold where you guarantee 3 kills or even 4 kills, right? So it's not been a complete shutdown. An important factor to think of is that once again, Sangal have managed to get the pistol round, which is so important in MR12. If you're going to win a game convincingly, you will need to win the pistol rounds and convert these second rounds. And the thing that Sangal managed to do in this game is that they managed to win both pistol rounds as well as converting both second rounds, which puts them in this position now where, despite not having the buy rounds that have been super clean or having a super clean starter game as CTs, they managed to get away with getting a good half regardless, because pistol rounds are very important. As we talked about as well in a previous video, you can manage your CT economy in different ways when you lose the pistol round to still be able to get a good half where you can still have a good economy. But winning the pistol rounds is obviously even better, right? Because your economy will build even faster and you will actually get more rounds on the board, which is, in the end, that's how you win in CS. Building up a good economy doesn't win you the game, winning the rounds wins you the game. In this case, the secondary round, we're looking at quite a good mid-round call from Sangal, right, from LNC. They're faking a B execution, as well as them just contacting out mid. And an important part here, again, to remember is that this is very much important that these individuals hit their shots. FaZe Clan were in pretty good positions to actually block this, despite having worse weapons. But an important double kill from Sammy and getting the trades on the players mid ensures them this round win. And as we go into this final round of the game, you can feel that the game has almost ran away from FaZe Clan, right? And that's a bit just the way the things are now in MR12, where the half is not very long, the pistol round plays very big importance, and Sangal winning some of these crucial swing rounds have made this half and this game in general look extremely easy from them. It's also worth noting that Sangal have not overcomplicated this half for themselves, nor on the T side or on the CT side. They haven't made things extremely convoluted or complicated. They've just done a lot of things together. A lot of CT aggressions with just 3 guys searching an area, a lot of re-aggressions with multiple people, a lot of T-side rounds where they're just contacting with multiple players and just playing for the trades. And in the end, this is very fundamental for CS, but at the highest level, this is how you win games. You don't win games purely by just calling insane strats or convoluted strats or insane executes. So from my perspective, this game is a complete team victory from Sangal, where every player pulled their part, and there's a very, very big credit that needs to be given to LNC and to Jumpy for the preparation that they've done in this game. So all in all, to conclude this game and answering the question of how did Sangal destroy FaZe Clan on Anubis, it's a combination of the factors that we've spoken of earlier. It's a combination of good preparation, it's a combination of good individual performance, and the important factor of not being afraid to lose, daring to take risks, daring to gamble stack things, daring to do aggressions, daring to take the duels against the FaZe players. Just because they are overdogs or are supposedly meant to win against you, doesn't mean you can't win against them. Getting over that mental block in your brain where instead of thinking, oh no, I can't win this duel against Rain or Rops or whoever of these good players that you're playing against, you need to understand that your ability is very much close to them. At this high of a level of CS, the difference between the individuals of Sangal and the individuals of FaZe is not all too big. The difference between the tier 1 scene and the tier 2 scene is not super big individually. It's about how the teams approach the games and how the mental of the players are looking. And Sangal do this in a very, very, very convincing fashion in this game, which is why I think that they won this game so convincingly. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it and have found something educational in it. If you would like to see more things talking about the underdog mentality and how to approach matches, I would recommend watching the match of the demo review against Fnatic that I posted a couple of weeks ago. Other than that, I hope to see you guys in the next video, and thank you so much for watching.